Okay, Nasai Minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Geats episode 27. Really amazing episode this is because this episode helped us to get a deeper understanding of what is actually happening in the story of Kamen Rider Geats. Let me start with talking about the vision driver. Is rather than just being a key to access the goddess of creation and also the transform belt for Kamen Rider Glare and Kamen Rider Gazer. It also holds the power to create the war in any game that they actually wish it to be. So that is really interesting because in a sense, if you really look at it, the vision driver is actually a little tiny portion of power of the goddess of creation, and that is why using the vision driver you are able to access the full power of goddess of creation itself. So that is something really interesting. But I felt like this also answers a question that I don't think a lot of people actually cares to ask, and that is how the hell did the DGP used to get the Jyamato to walk in the game itself? How do they actually produce the game when the Jyamato obviously is not cooperating with the DGP itself, especially the breeder really had the shit out of the game master, out of the management of DGP. So how do they actually get the Jyamato to cooperate when they want to organize a certain game, something like that? And in this episode we learned that all of it can be done due to the power of the vision driver, just like how the DGP people and also the rider did not actually agree to be part of the Jyamato Grand Prix, and yet they are being forcefully plucked from what they are doing and put into the game itself, and that is how Niram is being put in the Jyamato Grand Prix as well. So this is something really interesting because it can also affect Niram, someone who also has the access to the vision driver. So how strong is the vision driver? It really just depending on the idea and imagination of the user itself. So that is really insane. Are we gonna see a future, a new form of Kamen Rider Glare or even Gazer from the vision driver? I felt like maybe and maybe not, okay? Because in order for them to create kind of like a new rider from the vision driver, they will have to introduce a new card, and since they are already selling the belt, I felt like they don't really want to do that. Like you just want to sell another card for the entire new Henshin soundbite, something like that. And I felt like if there is a way for them to kind of like access the soundbite, someone will have already found information regarding new rider form from the vision driver already. So I don't think we are actually gonna see a new rider coming from the vision driver, but instead we are actually gonna see maybe different user using the vision driver and becoming different form of glare itself. And I have a feeling that maybe, okay, just a possibility that we are actually gonna see the return of Gilori. And I feel like Gilori returning right now after seeing the war in shambles, after seeing the Jyamato is actually really close to having their wish fulfilled, is gonna be a really good surprising return of a cast that I felt like a lot of people have kind of like just forgotten about him already. But I still remember Gilori, and I really want to see Gilori being someone that, hey, I want to be here. I want to stop the Jyamato, something like that, and that is gonna be really amazing. But with that being said, let us focus on the main dish of this episode, and that is Ukyo S and Jin. So Ukyo S, we learned that he is having the side effect of using Boost Mark II because his body is unable to keep up with the speed, the G-force, the inertia, the momentum, whatever term you want to call it. He's not able to keep up with Boost Mark II, and that is why we actually see him being very tired and he actually fainted after he fought with the Jyamato riders and the rest of the Jyamato in this episode. So why how do I say this? I feel like this is not really surprising because it is 5 boosts, man. Like one boost is all enough to turn the entire game around, and having the power of 5 boosts at once, that is gonna be really, really insane. Okay, but with that being said, we also get to see Jin learning the truth of Ukiyo-S, how he actually have the memory of every single timeline that he has been in, every single reincarnation that he is in. Very, very interesting stuff, because if you look at the wish of Ukiyo-S, he never actually once wishes that he would remember the wish of he never wishes that he will remember every single war that he has been in. And a lot of us back in the day, when this theory has been floating around, we actually concluded that, hey, maybe because you are the Desashin, so you actually have the memory of the previous war that you actually win it from. But I felt like that is actually a lie. That is actually false information and false deduction based on the information that we have in this episode. I felt like the reason why Ukiyo-S is able to remember so many things in the past, as able to remember all the previous war in the past, is mainly because in the past, one of the past reincarnation of Ukiyo-S already have the memory of, like, not already have the memory, already make the wish for him to have the memory of every single war moving forward. So this is a really, really interesting stuff, and we just have to assume that he, throughout his entire life, there has to be multiple time that he joined the DGP, and he experimented on a lot of things throughout his life, like to find his own mother Mitsune. So we are still trying to figure out, like, how does every version of Ukiyo-S is gonna, like, what did he actually do in the past. So obviously he tried to write the memory that he's gonna remember every single memory, every altercation of the war, something like that. That is gonna be one of the wish. And another wish that we know of is the wish that he's gonna have the power to protect the war when his reincarnation steal his resolve. So that is the second wish that we know all the other S actually tried before. But what about the rest of the wish that the other wish the other S actually wishes for? Did he actually wishes for war peace? Did he actually wishes for this or that, something like that? We are not sure. Okay, we are not sure who is S. He definitely have quite a lot of personality change over 2000 years, and that is something very, very remarkable if you really think about it. Because for most people, especially Immortal, okay, Immortal is gonna have a big problem, is that they no longer cares about the war after maybe a couple decades, and after a few hundred years that they have been surviving. They're gonna have a syndrome called, like, they don't really care about human life anymore, because like what's the point? He just want to die, and he even have problem building relationship with other people, because like people around him keep on dying and dying and dying, and he's the only one that keeps on living on, something like that. But then again, the difference between an Immortal and Ukiyo-S is that he is a reincarnated soul, so he dies normally like a human as well, and he lives normally like a human as well. So this is all really, really interesting. But then again, how many things does he actually knows is another big question. Like, how, like, why he waited until the era of Ukiyo-S for him to actually make the wish for him to become part of the DGP, or he wishes to find out more regarding the DGP. Like, this seems kind of sus, okay? Or maybe he just thought of, like, there is a way for him to join the DGP every single time, so he can start to experiment on stuff when he became Ukiyo-S, okay? Because like back in the day, he never actually make this wish, so he's not gonna join every DGP in his timeline. But this time he actually make that wish to do so. So now he's able to do more investigation regarding the DGP. Okay, so with that being said, let me end the video right here, right now, because honestly speaking, there's really nothing much to talk about in episode 27, because the main focus in this episode is for Jean to find out the true identity of S and for Jean to get hurt, so that in the next episode we are actually gonna see laser boost form used by Ukyo S himself. A few things that we should never forget regarding Kamen Rider Geats story is, firstly, is Neon Kurama. We actually got the big revelation that she is actually a product of Goddess of Creation. Whether or not Neon Kurama is a real person before she being created by the Goddess of Creation is another story, okay? Like, because there's a theory out there that Neon Kurama was killed when she was kidnapped by the kidnappers, and then the father actually uses the Goddess of Creation to resurrect Neon Kurama. That is the first idea, the first theory. But another idea is that Neon Kurama never existed, and the existence of Neon Kurama is all thanks to the creation and thanks to the power of Goddess of Creation, something like that. So this is really interesting stuff that we are still waiting to see. Another thing, another plot point that still haven't gone anywhere is obviously Sakurai Keiwa. Like, he had like something inside of him, something evil, something devilish, something like that. So we're still waiting for that to happen in the show, and we are not sure when is it gonna happen, but I would assume Kamen Rider Geats is gonna have around 50 plus episodes, and we are halfway there already. So really exciting time to be watching Kamen Rider Geats, because moving forward it is only gonna be kind of like how the Old Testament in the Bible is kind of like the prophecy on what is to come in the New Testament, and the New Testament is the revelation, the coming to life of all the prophecy from the Old Testament. So you could actually see Kamen Rider Geats is kind of like be an Old Testament and a New Testament as well. In the first half of Kamen Rider Geats, it give us a lot of ideas, a lot of theory on what is to come in the second half of the story, and now the second half of the story focus on fulfilling all the prophecy of the first half of the story itself. But that is all from me. Hope you enjoy what you see here. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.